Pastor Vance with the daily devotional for you for February 13th, 2022. Been a couple days that we've missed here. I haven't missed reading, but have missed posting something for you. So glad to be back with you today, and hope that you've been continuing to read with us. If you haven't, pick right back up. If you don't have a copy of our readings, if you don't have the list for you, I encourage you to reach out to me on whatever platform you're viewing this on, or call me, send an email, carrier pigeon, whatever you got. Let me know and I'll get this list to you. Today's readings are Matthew chapter 16, verse 21 to 39, Acts chapter 21, verse 27 to 40, Psalm 36, and Exodus 34. The psalm particularly stuck out to me because some of the verses are actually using in our service today. Because the day before Valentine's Day, this psalm talks about God's unfailing love, and what God's love looks like, and all that God, the fountain of life, that God love brings to us. And we often start this psalm in verse 5 because that's where it starts talking about God's love. It's the first 4 verses I want to concentrate on today. These verses in the New Living Translation of this first verse is powerful to me. That sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. We've all had that sin whisper to us, that pull to do something wrong, that pull to say or be something wrong. Then it says they have no fear of God at all. And I read Tim Keller describe this as people who believe in God, but God doesn't matter. They know God's there, and they know who He is, but it doesn't change anything about them. And man, if that isn't a description of so many people in this world, and so many, and if we're honest, if we look at our lives, there's so many times where that's a description of us. Where, and maybe that's not true all the time, but there's certain circumstances, there's certain relationships where, yeah, you believe in God and you know all the right things about God. But in that moment, in that relationship, in that choice, it doesn't matter. Who God isn't influencing you, isn't changing you, isn't making you be who you should be. You're blind to your pride, to your greed, to your selfishness. You can't see your wickedness. The people around you can. We're not blind to it. We see it. It's not invisible. It's just invisible to you. Because you believe that what matters to you is what matters to everyone, is what matters to God. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They use lies. They use wickedness to get what they want. They don't act wisely. They don't do good things. We don't see them out doing, if you see somebody, you see 2 people in a dispute, in a situation, and one person you always see them doing good, and one person you always see not doing good. Usually you can judge between the 2 and think, who's doing good in this situation? It's not always true, because even those we see doing good, our sin can whisper to them as well. But if we see somebody always being selfish and greedy, they don't suddenly change their feathers and become giving and gracious and loving. They're probably doing something for their own gain or for their own good in that moment, even if it appears to be good. They're even, it says, lying awake at night, hatching sinful plots. We can almost expect that those people they're inventing new ways to do wrong things. Their actions are never good. But the hardest part is it says they make no attempt to turn from it. They don't want to change. Even though God is there and they know He's real, it doesn't matter to them. They don't want to change. They don't want to be anything other than what gives them what they want in life. In fact, there's only one thing that can change someone like that. Your unfailing love, O Lord, is as vast as the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches beyond the clouds. Only the love of God can penetrate a heart that's that hardened. So I challenge you today as we read that. You might read those verses, you might hear that description, and you think of other people in your life. You think, and surely there are people in your life that are like that. But I want you to read those descriptions and think, how am I like that? Because it says here that they're blind to it, they don't see it. Would you allow the eyes of your heart to be open in a way that allows you to see your wickedness, that allows you to see your selfishness, that allows you to see your greed, that allows you to see your pride, that allows you to hear how sin is whispering and causing you to do things that are saying, I know you're there, God, but you don't matter. What I want matters more. And would you allow the love of God to change that in you? Don't be the one who, in the end of this, the evil have fallen because they trusted in themselves instead of the love of God. And they didn't find his protection and grace. And in the end, all their plots won't deliver them what they need in life. Don't fall prey to that. Don't let the whispers in your heart steer you in the wrong direction. Let the love of God change you, mold you, shape you, make you who you should be, need to be in him. May God's unfailing love speak loudly to your heart and life today. So loud that the whispers that steer you away from him, the whispers that cause you to live as if he doesn't matter, you can't hear them anymore. May his love be that loud in your heart, in your mind, in your life today.